That is just about as good as it gets for a first prototype. We will use this top bracket for sure because that's a perfect fit. Clearance on the back of the panel is ideal. This bracket fits great. I think the last thing I'm going to do is check the articulation on the seat, clean up the model a little bit, and then we'll send it to production. Hey guys, today we are digging into our 24 Colorado project. You have seen us install the bedside MOLLE panels so far. We're gonna do a little bit more product development this time on the Seat Back MOLLE panel. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pull apart the seats of this truck. I'm gonna 3D scan them. I do have some OEM CAD data also, but I always like to verify that against a real 3D scan of the actual truck. From there, we'll take a look and see if any of our existing Seat Back MOLLE panel parts will fit or are close. And then we'll design brackets and hopefully cut some prototypes before the end of the week. So let's get into it. So the first thing I'm noticing already is this is kind of nice, is that this headrest actually slides up and down. These posts are bent, and the headrest itself is what slides up and down. So we can mount our seat back panel bracket to this, and then you can adjust your headrest up and down without impacting the MOLLE panels, which actually is unique, I think, to this truck so far. So that's kind of cool. I'm going to make some space here so I can get a good scan of these. I'm going to flip the seat forward so I can get some space. So just like most of the other trucks, this got this flap underneath here that's held in by some elastic, and the trick is to just figure out how that's held on. I think there's a, feels like there's a plastic hook at the end. Yep. There's need 2 of them here. So it's kind of an inside out zipper hidden. I'm not even gonna unzip it yet because I think I may be able to access what I need without doing that. So there's kind of this J channel here. You find this on most trucks. We'll sometimes have people trying to install the lower bracket here, and they'll get this flap up and say, oh, I don't have the same bracket. There's kind of a J upholstery channel here. Sometimes you need to pull apart. And I might need a pick tool to do that. Let's see. All right, so this structure is in the frame of most seats, and that is exactly what we're looking for. We'll use a bracket to bolt to this structure and then sneak out on either side of the upholstery here. So from a scanning perspective, I need to either have a scan with the upholstery down like this or some sort of a reference in here. I need to come out a little bit further than the plastic trim. Pretty straightforward. I'm basically just trying to scan this piece, but I also need to scan the seat back and the headrest posts because I need to understand the relationship between them. So I'm going to tape this up out of the way and prep this for scanning. So the important parts are the seat posts, headrest hosts because we're mounting to those, this ridge because we need to clear that with the upper bracket. We need some concept of where the seat back is. That's pretty simple. We need this lower frame piece here for mounting, but we also need these trim pieces here because we're going to hug those really, really tightly. That's how we get that OEM sort of fit and finish. So I've got the spray on. I'm going to add some anchors here. And then we will scan it, and scanning probably will go pretty fast. All right, so we got a bunch of targets on here. What we have learned is that the more the merrier regarding targets. So targets were sprayed. We got a good kind of non-reflective surface here, so I'm going to set up the scanner and we should be scanning. Scan looks pretty good. Obviously I don't have a whole headrest loop because I just did it from the back here, but I have enough to go from to get center to center distance there. Same thing with the top of the seat. I don't have the top of the seat here because the headrest is in the way, but I've got this ridge, which is what I need to clear. We've got the surface of the seat back, and then down here I've got a pretty good shot of that bracket with the mounting holes. I've got this piece of trim really nicely. This piece of trim over here was a little bit of a struggle, but I've got that ridge there, which is all I need. So I'm going to clean this up back at my desk, and then we'll try and design some prototype brackets in CAD, and also hopefully one of our existing top brackets will work here. We will see. They're kind of far apart, so we'll see. If we got to make a new one, that's no problem either. All right, so we brought our 3D scan data into CAD. We compared it to our OEM scan data. I've got a lower bracket here designed, and I cut out a flat pattern of it. I scored the bend lines just so I can hand bend them in case we want to tweak anything. So I'm going to bend this up, and then we'll go test fit in the truck. So we got a bunch of wiring harnesses and stuff to contend with here. We should be able to slip our bracket past them. So just quick first glance, the bracket looks like it's lining up really nice, which is, it's always nice when things match what we see in CAD. I'm gonna go grab some hardware quick and we'll bolt it up. All right, so this is not what we would use for production hardware, but I've started using wing nuts to test fit stuff just because it's really fast and not to pick up tools and stuff. Alright, now this is the real test. The upholstery's got this hard plastic flap, so I tried to go up above that. There's like a little softer spot. Hopefully won't disrupt the upholstery too badly. We did it. All right, so first test fit of this first prototype is looking really nice. It bolts in perfectly. I'm gonna make sure the seat can articulate. I'm gonna bolt a top bracket in with a panel and do a complete install. It looks a little bit like this might be a little bit close to the upholstery. This is not matching the CAD model quite exactly, which is not too much of a surprise here, given that it's upholstery. But really easy for us to add some length to this. So I'm gonna go ahead and finish this prototype install, and then we'll make that decision on the clearance for that bracket. All right, so we've got an upper bracket here from one of our other GM models. This one's a little bit beat up because we use it for things like this and product testing, so consider it a prototype. That does look like it's gonna work well for this application. Again, one of the nice things about the Colorado is that the headrest is adjusting at the upper portion of this post, so we can get this located here and lock it down right away, which is kind of nice. And then it doesn't need to be loosened when you're adjusting your headrest, which is unique so far to this truck as far as our seat back panels go. Lift this up a little bit. Get it close to centered here. Doesn't matter too much, especially for this purpose. That is not going anywhere right now. Clearance everywhere. That is great. Now we've got our panel here. I'm gonna get the 3 screws started here at the top. I'm not gonna put them in really tight because that's gonna kind of try and bend the panel and the bracket out. I'm just putting them in loose enough that the panel is essentially hanging here, but is allowed to flop around a little bit. That's what she said. No. All right, so the panel can move around a little bit. And then we will move down to the bottom here. It looks like we are lining up close to what I saw in CAD. Now I've got this sitting up a little high up here, so I'm gonna move it back down, which is actually where I had it in CAD, and we're lining up really nicely here. So that's probably something where prior to production I'd build a little bit more adjustment into that, but it's fitting really nicely. So tightening these up, that is just about as good as it gets for a first prototype. We will use this top bracket for sure because that's a perfect fit. I'm going to verify this with somebody that's got the AT4. Clearance on the back of the panel is ideal, especially once we get this tucked up in here. This bracket fits great. I think the last thing I'm going to do is check the articulation on the seat and clean up the model a little bit, and then we'll send it to production. with that, the Seat Back MOLLE design for this Colorado and of course the Canyon is essentially complete. I've got a couple of things I want to verify with some different seat upholstery options. Tidy up the design for the bracket a little bit, and then we'll send it to production. So hopefully you guys are seeing that being released in 4 to 5, 6 weeks, something like that, after this video goes live. Check back next Monday for more.